It would seem as though.
Hi.
Good morning.
How's it going?
You know what? It's going. I'm surviving. I'm recovering. I am surviving. I'm sore. I did.
Oh, right.
I did a couple things on Sunday.
Actually,
it was a weekend. Let me tell you what.
It was a weekend.
Because Saturday night,
right. Yes.
took the children to their first concert.
Where was it?
It was at the Aladdin Theater.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Or as I, now think of it as the theater with torture chairs.
Yeah.
Because, again, fat ass, small chair. Mm-hmm. It's not great for me.
Yeah.
But the worst part of it, though, I'm going to start with the worst part and then I'll get to the good parts.
Love.
The worst part was that as soon as the music started, everybody in the fucking theater stood up. I'm like, do we really have to stand for the entire 2 hours? Could you just stand for like a song and then sit down?
Wait, did they stand the whole time?
Yes. 2 hours. I'm like, I'm not standing. I guess I'll see Todrick as he walks between people on stage and whatever. And the kids had to stand the whole time. They're fine. They're young.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were fine. They were so excited to be at a live concert. They didn't care.
Let me tell you, one of the concerts I went to, remember Avril Lavigne? We stood that entire time.
17 hours.
Girl.
That concert was the longest fucking concert I've ever been to because she had 27 opening acts.
Yeah.
And
we stood outside and waited.
And it started at breakfast and ended the next day. It was awful. Because we did. When we got to Avril at the Tacoma Dome, we stood outside. And as soon as they... opened the doors. We made a break for it. We got all the way up to the very front, as close as you could be to the stage, because we were up against the guardrails. Yeah. Whatever.
But it went on forever.
But there was no seats.
Uh-oh.
The only seats were off the floor. Mm-hmm. So if you wanted to be close, you were standing. Mm-hmm. And it was a concrete floor, which is always good. And I think we got in there at 5 and got out at 11.
Jesus Christ.
So by the time it was over, I wanted to die.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that bad.
Okay.
And then we had to drive all the way home from Tacoma. And then I got a speeding ticket and the whole thing. So we get there, I get wedged into my seat, and I'm like, well, as long as I don't move, I'll probably be fine. Mm-hmm. But then, like I said, everybody stands up as soon as it starts. I'm like, God damn it.
It's Catholic Church. Everyone stands and kneels.
Except nobody, if they knelt, it would have been fine. I would have at least seen the goddamn show. One of the other things that cracked me up, you know who Michelle Buteau is?
Yeah.
In her stand-up act, she does this thing, in the one that's on, it's called Butopia. There's some white woman going, yes, queen, yes, sister. And so she starts snapping at her, or doing that little finger clap thing at her. It's like, yes, queen, go off, queen.
Yeah.
I thought of that a lot, because as Todrick was talking about being black and queer and an artist and whatever, all these white people are doing the little finger... the finger clap. Yes, queen. Yeah. Yes, I know you white straight girls can really,
embody that. You're doing a really good
black
job.
and queer. But whatever.
They get that.
But the show was really good.
Good.
And it moved. There was no downtime. There was no lag.
Oh, good.
It was video, dancers, and he had a full stage of dancers.
Wow.
And he came out in the beginning and was in drag.
Oh, love. Okay.
And sang and danced and whatever and whipped his hair back and forth. He was very, what's her name?
Willow Smith.
But then the craziest thing was towards the end of the first set.
Okay.
He has his back to the audience and it just looked like someone was helping him do a little quick change on stage. Yeah. He turns back around and he's completely out of drag. I'm like, what the what?
No, he didn't.
Yes, they took off his makeup right there, little...
No.
I don't know what they wiped his face with. That must have been motor oil. I don't know. But it took it all off and he turns around and I'm like, what?
How are you out of drag?
I can't get out of drag that fast and I've been doing it for 40 years.
Yeah, right?
Whatever. But that was fun. The kids had a great time. I, again, would have had a better time if the seat had fit my ass.
How close were you to the stage? It's not a big theater.
It's not a big theater.
No.
We were probably 6-8 rows back.
Oh, not bad.
Far. Yeah, it was nice. Because as soon as the doors opened, I was like, all right, husband, you're young and have good legs. As soon as they let you in, make a beeline. Because, a lot of people make a beeline for the bar. And I was like, make a beeline for the closest seats.
Yeah.
And so he sat on the end of one of the rows. I was like, nope, sit in the middle.
Yeah.
That way no one's climbing over us. We can stay.
Also, there weren't assigned seating?
No.
Weird.
Yeah. I know. I definitely prefer assigned seating. I'm not a fan of general admission.
No, me either. I guess last time we were there was you and me and Astra, and we went and saw John Waters. Yeah, obviously that would be assigned seating.
That was fantastic.
That was. My favorite part, though, was when that girl ran to the stage, like, from the back to give him a card, and you just see, like, like, terror in his face, and he backs away from the front of the stage. Like,
well, old white queer man who literally was making stuff when it was illegal to do some of the shit he was doing.
Right.
You know, being queer and being, you know, in the 60s.
And having a white girl run at you.
Oh, yeah.
I would run too, bitch.
I mean, white girls.
I'm going to turn and sprint the other way if a white girl's running at me.
Right. And then if it was a pack of white girls, just forget it. I'm just going to shit twice and die, to quote Molly
Shit
Ringwald.
twice and die. I want you to know that I don't know what show it is, but there's this clip, and it's like Mardi Gras or Pride downtown in New York. And there's this black girl, and she's like, shit, my phone's gonna die. So she starts running to find a charger. And as she's like running through these packed streets, all the black people are like, why is she running? And start running with her, being like, one black girl running, we all running.
Right, if she's running, we gotta go.
And so there's like then a herd of black people just like sprinting down the sidewalk.
That's
with
hilarious.
no idea why.
Well, safety.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's like, never can be too safe.
Yeah.
So we did that, and then, of course, got home late, because concert, you know, whatever. And then the next day, I was supposed to go to the block party.
I was
supposed to be there at 11:30.
In the morning?
In the morning, in full drag, to get set up. And then it was opening at noon, and then I would be working with Peacock Productions, selling drinks, and
I remember,
you know, hawking Jell-O shots to try and make money.
Yeah.
You know, because it all goes to our charity, which is the Audrey M. Edwards Scholarship Fund, which sends queer kids to school, and queer adults too.
Yeah. Queer people,
the children of queer people.
Yeah.
Anyway, so my good friend Kimberly calls me in the morning. She's like, what did she ask me? She asked if I don't even remember, but she called me to ask me something. Oh, about my music for the other show that I was doing. And I was like, yeah, it's all turned in, whatever. And I was like, and I'm ready, so I'll be down there, you know, close to 11:30
soon,
as I can find parking, you know.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, well, if you don't want to come today, this morning, you don't have to, because we now have too many people. Because getting volunteers is always... And I was like, I am standing here before you in full drag at, you know, 11 o'clock, 10:30. It was 10:30 in the morning. And she was like, oh, well, because we don't really need you until your show at 4 o'clock. And so I literally took off all of my drag clothing.
Yeah.
And just kept my face on, but didn't put hair on or anything else. No. And finished doing the laundry, because it's Sunday. It's my laundry day. And sat here, full drag face. And nothing else, so I looked ridiculous.
So did you do a show? Did you perform at the block party? And then
I did.
And then at Darcel's?
Yes.
Jesus
so I
Christ.
performed, and I did one little quick song.
Yeah.
And made pretty good money for one song. For 3 minutes work, you know.
Yeah.
I made $65.
And what the fuck? That's amazing.
I know. And then after that, went down to Darcel's. It was introduction to candidates for Emperor and Empress. But it's, in this case, just Empress. We have one person running for Empress and nobody running for Emperor. So, she's gonna win.
Oh.
And so I did the same number there.
Yeah.
So it was all...
I don't give a fuck.
Let's make it easy. But here's where it got uncomfortable for me.
Okay.
At the very end... Well, there was a lot of up and down, because I tipped everyone, because it was all like emperors and empresses and whatever, you know, that whole club. And so I tipped everyone, so it's up and down a lot. But at the very end, they called all of us up on stage so they could do their announcements, sing the rose, blah, blah, blah. And, well, they even called they called all of the names of every emperor and empress, whether they were there or not. We're on Empress 64,
Holy fuck.
And so I'm standing on that stage for so long, my legs are like, no, I don't like this.
Girl, I'm gonna lay down.
Girl, grab a chair. Do something. So when I got off the stage, I'm like, ugh. Now I have to limp to my car. And so I've been a little sore.
Yeah.
But
I forgot. Because I was telling Gavin, I saw that the picture on Facebook that you guys went to go see Todrick, and I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
I just didn't remember when. But how exciting. Little babies.
Well, and
baby's first concert.
Can you imagine your first concert? Well, your first concert was also Queer Icons, obviously, because it was
the Spice Girls. Yeah, and nothing will ever trump that for me.
And we didn't have to stand for that because we were up high up in the thing and whatever. No, that was awesome.
It was amazing.
And I was obviously, you know, an adult, had been to many concerts by that point. Yeah. But yeah, that was a great concert.
It was so much fun.
It was so much fun.
I'm glad it was my first because it was such a big production at like the Rose Garden, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was huge.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It was funny because one of the things we talked about when we were there is the fact that just the amount of people in the Rose Garden that night is more than 10 times the amount of people who lived in our hometown that we grew up in.
Yeah, right? So that was mind-blowing.
Crazy.
It was always crazy to me to do that. I could go to Peacock in the Park and have there be more people there than that live in my town. I remember being like, what? And they're all queer? Like, there's not that many queer people in Oregon. Like, what are you talking about? As a child, I was so mind-blown by it.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, you throw a rock and you hit a fucking queer person.
But that's a hate crime, so don't throw rocks.
Don't throw rocks.
Don't throw rocks. That's not good. Just don't do it.
God, I can't do anything fun anymore.
I know. Life.
Can't brutalize no one.
I'm going to tell you, did I tell you the story about my brother asking me about my gig when I did my one-woman show?
You did, but tell the audience.
Well, it's just, I am a petty person. I'm just going to start
You're
with
all the petties.
I'm Lori Petty, I'm Richard Petty, I'm Tom Petty, I'm Petty Mayonnaise. I'm all the petties. Petty LaBelle.
All of them, girl.
Petty LaPone. So, my brother, who's a musician,
and has
been his whole life.
Yeah.
And I think has always looked at what I do as kind of, not really.
Yeah.
Not really an art form. It's like, whatever. So, he came over he had taken my mother to lunch. And came back and he was like, oh, so I saw that you just did a show. How'd your show go? And I was like, oh, it was great. Mm-hmm. I said, it was a lot of fun, a lot of work. I said, but, I had fun and I made really good money. And in that tone that he's like, oh, well, what's good money?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. I said, well, I made about $850.
Yeah.
And you could see the top of his head completely
For 2 hours.
For 2 hours work.
Yeah.
And he said, well, I just did a gig at Dante's and all I got were drink tickets. And I was like, oh, that sucks. When I worked at... And here's where I got petty.
Yes, girl.
Because I said, because when I did shows at Dante's, I got paid. Because I used to do the vaudeville shows on Tuesdays. Yeah. And there was a split of the door. So it wasn't great money, but it was money. It wasn't two drink. But I also got drink tickets.
Hey,
so
bitch.
I got the 2 drink tickets and cash.
To get your Diet Coke.
But I also, in this day and age, I do not understand giving away your talent. Mm-mm. It's like, especially like musicians and people, club owners do this. People do this all the time. It's like people having weddings do this shit. Well, come do this thing and, you'll get good exposure.
Yeah.
Well, I can't pay my bills with exposure.
I feel like unless you're doing something for charity or some sort of charitable organization, fine. But like, if no one's going to pay you, then don't do the gig.
No. Well, yeah, because if it's a gig where somebody's making money, clearly, then I need to be in a cut of that.
Right.
If it is a gig, because obviously I still perform at charity events where I don't get anything, but help raise money for a good cause. And that's great. That's wonderful. I'm all about it. I've been doing it for, 40 years. But if you're making money off me, then I need to get some of that.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And not just, throw you a couple drink tickets. No, don't give away your talent.
And also a drink ticket. How insulting.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself.
Right? Mm-hmm. Oh, God, I have drink tickets in my purse from the other day. Never used them. Don't ever use them. Don't
know, right?
But,
silly.
Yeah. But it also, I listened, there's a lady I follow on the YouTubes, Charlotte Dobray.
Yep.
And she used to be a photographer.
Okay.
And she talks a lot about people wanting you to work for exposure. Mm-hmm. You can come photograph I'll allow you to come photograph my wedding. Yeah. And you can use my shots in your portfolio and you'll get great exposure. And I have thousands of followers on Insta, so I will post. It's like, I can't pay my bills with that.
With exposure.
Yeah. Should I call up the phone company and be like, hey, T-Mobile, can I pay my bill this month with exposure?
Yeah, right. Honestly.
Or my mortgage company or anybody.
With exposure to what?
To COVID.
TB.
Yeah,
tuberculosis.
But I was just like, don't give it away.
No, I know.
No.
I get it.
But I felt just a little petty because it was
well, that's good.
Because I was just like, yeah, what I do is art.
Whatever you can do to clap back at old white men, I'm about it. You know what I mean? I'm here for it.
I am here for it as well.
Yeah. Love it.
The clapping back.
Yes, all of that, girl.
Oh, I was also going to tell you that. So this week, my children started school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this week is actually their first full week of school.
I know last week was a little...
Yeah, it was a little taste.
Weird, yeah.
Right, because Parker went 1 day, Grace went
3.5
days.
Yeah. I need you... it was just so funny to me. Grace was like, how much longer do I have to do this?
Right,
like,
day one. Are we done yet?
I know, 4 years, babe.
Yeah.
And then, because her first day was such a mini day,
yeah,
right?
It was 3 hours.
And then she's like, tomorrow is going to be such a long day. And I'm like, you mean like 7:30 to 2:30? And she's like, and I'm like, that smirk, that little smarmy nod. And I'm all, uh-huh. And I said, baby girl, you're going to have these same days, Monday through Friday, for the next 4 years, other than summer.
Yeah.
And she was like, right, but tomorrow, like, she could only
it was just that one day.
Part.
Well, she, small goals.
Yeah, I love it.
Tomorrow.
But she was pressed. Do I have to keep doing this?
Well, and what's funny is on the way to school today, she's like, I want to get a job. And I was like, okay, because she does this periodically. What is it you want to do? I'm going to go work at 7-Eleven.
No.
I said, doing what? Because you can't be a cashier because you have to be old enough to sell liquor, and you're not. Well, no, I could just stock the shelves. And I said, young lady, I said, I can't get you to empty a dishwasher without you bitching about it. I asked you to take the garbage out to the corner here, which is not even very far. And you're like, ugh, do I have to? How on earth are you going to work a full
boring.
shift where you're working hard job for minimal pay?
Yeah. Well, when we cook or bake together, she's like, my legs kind of hurt. Can I go sit down? That's not how you cook, bitch. What the fuck do you mean? Can you go sit down?
Sitting down?
If we're putting something in the oven, we're waiting. Sure, but no. We're actively like rolling out tortillas, and she's like,
"This is hard.
My body hurts." I'm like, "Listen here, old lady. I need you."
14. It's like, well, if you moved more, you might be fine.
Yeah, she can't.
Perhaps.
It's boring. Everything's boring.
I know, right?
Unless it's YouTube Shorts.
Yeah,
boring. I love it.
The other thing I was going to mention. Now you know that I am a Drag Race fanatic.
Yeah.
Not crazy. I'm not a crazy fanatic. I don't like when the girls do fucked up stuff. I'm not one of those people saying, oh, you're horrible. Yeah. Go kill yourself or whatever. I'm not that kind of fanatic. Or when, one queen crosses another queen, you feel like you need to get in there. And it's like, that's your business. And besides, I worked in the bar long enough. I know how all this shit plays out, so who cares?
And also, what are you going to do? Be a keyboard warrior and be like, listen to me. You leave her alone. Like... No one cares.
Leave Britney alone.
Yeah, nobody cares.
No, nobody cares. So, I have watched every single season, every, franchise, everything.
Every country, everything, yeah.
It has now reached a point where I can't.
Oh.
Because at this very moment, there are 5 franchises playing all at once.
Okay.
5.
Yeah.
That's too much.
Yeah, so
there's Germany is doing their first season.
Okay.
Brazil is doing their first season.
Okay.
Mexico is doing their first season. Okay. And then there's Down Under.
Oh my god.
And which is doing their 5th?
Okay.
4th season. And I think maybe 3rd season. Who cares? And the Philippines is doing their 2nd season.
So there's a whole bunch of seasons that you're going to have to watch with subtitles on anyway.
Right. Well, other than Down Under, right, I would have to watch them all with subtitles. And for some reason, I don't know, in my old age, I'm trying to read and watch TV, I fall asleep.
Well, and the Kiki isn't as good if you have to read all of it.
Well, it's also not accurate.
Oh,
I have learned because one of the people that I follow who does, Drag Race kind of wrap-ups was saying that she has fans who are in these other countries where they do them. They're like, yeah, the subtitles are not accurate. They're close.
Yeah.
But you also don't really get kind of the meaning of it, especially if it's like slang from their culture.
Yeah.
We're not going to understand it.
No. No, that makes sense.
But I was like, 5 is too many. I can't watch 5 hours of Drag Race.
Yeah.
And some of them are longer. Some are an hour and a half. And I'm just like, nope.
Well, right.
I need to just let it go.
It grew so much.
Well, right. And there's more that are going to be. Yeah, well, yes, because there's now Sweden, France, España.
Why didn't they just do, like, the United States or, like, North America, South America? You know what I mean? They could do it by continent. That would be easier.
Drag Race Europe.
Right, wouldn't that be easier than Drag Race UK?
Well, because there's also Drag Race UK where the girls don't make any money.
Oh, boo.
Because it's on the BBC.
Boo!
And for some reason, and I don't know the rules and the laws, if you're on BBC because it's a non-profit, you can't win prize money, which is why the people who do, like, the Great British Bake Off, or whatever it's called, get a platter. You're there for all those weeks and you get a glass platter.
I would be livid, by the way.
But you know that signing up for it.
Yeah, that's why, I wouldn't. Yeah, I would not. Why is reality TV a thing if you can't win anything in Europe?
Why would you do it?
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, like, you're going to be on TV.
Is it all of the UK? Or is it just
anything on the BBC?
It's just anything on BBC. Does it not necessarily just the UK?
Right.
Okay.
Right, because like there are other. Well, I don't know. Are there other? Because no, it's been like Spain and France, and they're obviously not. Whatever. But they win prize money.
Okay.
So
I
don't know.
That's stupid. I have two things to say about all of this.
Yes.
One, because you're watching Drag Race and I'm watching Dungeons and Dragons and anime.
Yes.
So in Dungeons and Dragons in Critical Role, every break they're like, oh, we're gonna auction this off or whatever. Like, put your name in the chat and we'll randomly draw. But they do United States and Canada excluding Quebec because of laws in Quebec about winning things from, like, that way from.
Interesting.
Yeah. And talking about subtitles not being accurate, most anime should be listened to in Japanese and you read subtitles,
yes,
right?
Course.
I don't always do that because I'm busy, so I'll keep it dubbed, which is fine. It's cartoons, right? It's not horrible dubbing of like a real person. But I have had it on like English dubbing and then English subtitles, and what they say in English and what the subtitle says is never match. The same ever. Right. And again, it's like in the same vein, like. It means it's close, but it's not the same. So I'm like, I had to turn the subtitles off and just listen to it in English because I'm like, this is too confusing.
But I will not watch a foreign film dubbed.
Oh, no, me either. Never, ever.
I mean, a cartoon, I can see that. That's
it makes sense.
But a movie, first of all, the voices never sound right.
No. If it's live action, never will I watch it dubbed. No. If it's a cartoon, pretty much always.
I believe the first foreign film that I watched, French? Was it in French? Mm-hmm. What? Yeah, La Cage aux Folles.
Okay, yeah.
Which was fucking hilarious. I thought I was going to die. Now, most people now would have seen the American version, which is the Birdcage.
Which is also hilarious.
Yeah. But the first one is so funny, thought I was going to die.
Yeah.
It's that funny. And then I got a copy of it, and I didn't look to see that it had been dubbed. Yeah. And I was all, ew. Ow. I was like, no, none of these voices are right. Mm-hmm. And some of it was just wrong. And so, I hate dubbed.
And that's it. There was a different anime that I watched called One Punch Man. And I watched the first season, and it was subtitled and in Japanese. And it was much better. And then I watched the second season that's only dubbed. And I said, it's way worse. You know what I mean? It's a cute cartoon. It's fun. It's whatever. But, like, watching it dubbed was stupid. The voices were wrong. And I was like, no, I don't know.
Well, and I tried to watch, isn't it called La Veneno?
Oh, yeah, Veneno, yeah.
But I could only find it dubbed. I couldn't find it in its original language, which is Spanish, yes?
Spanish, yeah, because it's in Spain. Yeah.
Spain. With subtitles. All I could find it was dubbed, and I'm like, no.
Really?
Not watching dubbed.
On HBO?
Yeah.
Crazy.
I know. I think they then changed it, but when I was trying to watch it, I was like, no.
That show shook me. Because this trans woman is like half naked on fucking the news on TV in Spain. The world. Yeah, with her boobs out. Oh, girl, what?
I know.
We can't do that here.
I know, and apparently she was like, yeah, what about it?
Well, and everyone loved her. Everyone loved Veneno. That's crazy to me.
Yeah. She was beautiful.
Fuck the United States.
I know. She was so backwards in so many things. We talk about being, the most advanced and the best at this and that and the other thing. We're so backwards. Mm-hmm. We're so... with all of our little tight, religious views on things, and, it's like, if you go to Europe, like, the beaches are nude, people, like, the TV, on television, there's stuff that we, of course, here would find scandalous. Yeah. It's like, calm down, it's just
Isn't
bodies.
That so weird, though, in the United States, is we have, like, these, like, Puritan fucking Protestant ideals that, like, based on, right? But then we have, like, Jessica Simpson eating a hamburger in a white t-shirt washing a car. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. The dichotomy is...
triangles over nipples, being like, it's a bathing suit. Like, sure, I don't care. Be naked. I don't give a fuck.
No.
But it's weird to me that we have this weird dichotomous, like, difference, you know?
It doesn't make any kind of sense to me.
No, you can't... Well, and I feel like that's the motto of America. You can't be too prude, or you can't be too sexual, you can't be too fat, you can't be too thin, because always something you're wrong. No matter what, you're wrong. You're too prude, you're wrong. You're too sexual, you're wrong. You're too fat, you're wrong. You're too thin, you're wrong, Right. You're just wrong.
Right, there's a lot of wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not
it makes me think, though, of that whole thing of, bodies and whatever, of Janet Jackson in the Super Bowl. You literally saw nothing. Mm-hmm. You saw a boob, which you see all the time on television because her nipple was covered up. Because she had a nipple piercing thing on that covered her entire areola, whatever. People freaked the fuck out. It changed live television.
It did.
And now all of live television has a 5-second delay.
I believe so.
You know, it's 35. Like, so things can be bleeped and fuzzed out and whatever. It's like, it was a breast.
It's so weird to me, right?
It wasn't like he fucked her on stage. It was a breast.
That would have been probably entertaining.
Yeah.
But he would have been like, what do I do? What do I do? I'm a little white boy from NSYNC. That would have been Justin Timberlake.
That was a great impression of Justin.
He sounds a little bit like Johnny Bravo. A little bit like
kind of did now that you mention it. I haven't watched Johnny Bravo in a long time.
I talk about those cartoons often, like Powerpuff Girls and Johnny Bravo, Dexter's Laboratory.
I love that one.
Same.
Didi, you're so stupid.
Omelette du fromage is that's what I learned omelette with cheese
that was
from.
the French.
Yeah, that's all I know.
I can go to France and order an omelette with cheese. That's all.
That's it. And I'll probably say it still incorrectly.
Right.
Stupid.
Right. Americans.
I know.
Whatever.
I know.
All right. Well, we actually... So last week... Just for the funsies, we decided to answer some like questions asked to like Dear Abby, and my child here pulled up the Reddit "Am I an Asshole?" Which is kind of the young, hip, modern version of asking for advice or whatever. But more, it's asking. I think it's funny that you're asking a group of people, am I the asshole?
Right.
Well, if you have to ask, most likely you probably are.
Well, but many of these them aren't.
But it's like, why are you asking? Because the situation's probably over. You can't do anything about it.
Just reflection.
Okay. So you can learn and become a better person. Because people don't do that.
That's the hope. Well, I also kind of love it because it's asking like mass appeal. Like, how is this a socially normal thing? Like, am I the asshole for saying no to this thing that people want me to do? Or like the guy who was expected to watch his niece, right, on vacation.
Right.
Like, I think it's a pretty normal. I mean, I think it's good. You're pulling the population. Not that I think the U.S. population has a lot of good to say, but at least they'll tell you, I would hate that. That would piss me off. You feel validated.
Right. So before we jump into that, I just want to say really quickly, the other day I was talking to your Auntie Maria and Kate. I love them both dearly. Anyway.
Same.
But she made a comment about that we're in the middle of like the apocalypse, but it's just going in slow motion.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, slow burn. Yeah. But then I said, you know what I never understand about post-apocalyptic movies, and we've had this conversation, is in every post-apocalyptic movie, the people are like wild animals. They're all trying to kill each other. They're all trying to get whatever, resources, whatever, instead of like, what I think would make more sense is banding together and trying to make a better world.
Yep.
To which Maria replied, people don't learn anything. So we've not learned anything this go around. We're all for ourselves and destroying the world. So why would it be different just because there's fewer of you? It's like, fair point.
Yeah. It is. It's so weird to me. I think that it just shows humanity's weakness where systems and structures and norms go out the window, and then people just devolve into fucking animals. It's weird to me because that wouldn't be me. My first thought, if society collapses, isn't to go like steal and murder and you know what I mean? Like, that sounds fucking weird to me. It's like, to me, it's the same energy as people being like, well, I want to join the military so I can shoot people. You know what I mean? Like, you want the world to end so you can live in fucking Mad Max? Like, none of that sounds ideal to me.
Well, and I know that we talked about the fact that I started to watch Last Man on Earth, which I didn't enjoy.
Yeah, you should.
But the way he behaved, other than being gross in his surrounding, but like going to a store and like taking whatever, because why wouldn't you? You're the only person there.
Yeah.
Going and finding a cool house because, well, you live in, I don't know where you lived.
Yeah.
But why not? No one's there. Everyone's dead. These houses are just sitting there. That makes sense to me.
Yep.
Whereas the Mad Max kind of reality of that does not make sense.
And you didn't get far enough in Last Man on Earth, but they do get more people, and they do more so band together, right? What's scary, though, this isn't our topic, but think of all the shit that you need to keep under control, like regularly, like power plants, shit like that. You know what I mean? And if you don't, that shit goes full tilt, and horrible ecological things can happen. Like, it can explode. It can cause, like... Yeah, so I don't know. I would probably just want to lay down and die, to be honest. I'm just going to wither away here.
Yeah.
You know? Why? I don't want to fight to exist. Bitch, I've been fighting. I don't want to do it.
No.
It's tiring, right?
No. Well, and the other thing that I found weird kind of in that is, so there's no people, for as far as he can see. But there's also nothing else. There's no animals.
Yeah, right?
There would at least be rodents.
You would assume, but also in Stephen King's The Stand, most animals die.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, they never mention them. There's one dog they find, but that's it. They don't mention any other animals at all.
Interesting.
I don't think. Yeah. Weird, right?
Yeah, it is weird. All right, well, now we're actually going to get to our topic. So.
Yeah.
But hey, and we're early for getting to our topic. Usually we're like 40 minutes in.
I'm so proud of us. Wait, can I read this one?
Yes, please.
Okay, so this is an Am I the Asshole?
Well, already I'm going to say yes.
Yeah, usually.
Yeah.
For allowing my, sister-in-law, I guess, S-I-L?
Yeah.
Sister-in-law into my wedding if she gets patted down before she comes in.
So wait a minute, she's asking if she's the asshole because before her sister can come be in her wedding, they need to pat her down.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it says... I'm going to start with, I don't like my sister-in-law, Emily.
Nobody likes Emily, so yeah, keep going.
I need to know if I'm biased in this. She is a super heavy drinker. There have been so many events that she has ruined due to her drinking. Huh.
That sounds familiar.
Uh-huh. No matter what, she'll bring some type of drink, even if it's a kid's birthday party. I don't think I've ever met her sober. It's a problem. Even events when... we tell her that there's no alcoholic beverages allowed, she'll still bring some. Our wedding is alcohol-free for a few reasons, but the biggest ones are there will be a ton of children, and some people at the wedding have a bad history with it. My mother and my aunt. Also, it saves us money to not have an open bar.
Sure.
Right. The invited were very clear... What? The invited were very clear... I don't know. And we also informed anyone if they do bring stuff, they'll be kicked out.
No, you probably was supposed to say the invites were very clear.
Yeah, okay. The wedding is in a week, and my sister-in-law came to the practice and was drinking. I'm sick of it, and I never heard her talking about bringing some drink anyway, since the rules are stupid. I told her I'm done. If she wishes to attend, we'll pat her down before, since I don't trust her. And she doesn't have to go if she doesn't want to. My family is on my side with this, and my brother is pissed. And we have been arguing constantly. He clearly thinks I'm a jerk for this, and I'm not backing down. No, I don't think you're an asshole at all.
Not even a little bit.
No.
And I will tell you from personal experience,
yes.
Having had things at my house where I specifically told my sister and everyone, it was like, no alcohol. I don't want any alcohol at my house, whatever. And she would just sneak it in her purse and go in the bathroom and drink in between, because we were playing a game at the table, and she would take bathroom breaks and then go and drink in the bathroom. Because every time she came out of the bathroom, she was a little louder than when she went in. Because her MO was she would just get louder and louder as she drank.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I don't think you're the asshole at all.
No.
I think your brother is the asshole for not saying, yeah, my wife's a mess. She's a problem.
Yeah.
And why is he putting up with it?
And why are you married to an alcoholic and not doing anything about it? You know what I mean? Or they're not doing anything.
Especially if the entire family allows her to, come to birthday parties and everything drunk.
No.
Escort her out.
Agreed. And, also having experience, not just with your sister, but also my biological mother, where, so many things have been ruined. So many things have gone to shit because she's just been drunk and can't handle herself, And it puts you in a really shitty position. And this specifically, she's your sister-in-law. But sometimes, one of my, birth parents is that. So, that whole power play, right?
Yeah.
Of, now what do I do? She was an adult.
The adult, right.
Yeah.
But not acting very adult-like.
No. I 100% think that you're doing great, and I don't think you should... I should think you should just invite your sister-in-law.
Yeah.
I just think you shouldn't invite her. I think you want to act like a dumb bitch, and you already said you're going to bring booze, then guess what? Actions have consequences. You're no longer invited.
Right. Because I don't think I would go through all the trouble of a pat down, because she's going to have booze in the car. Mm-hmm. And then as soon as she's just going to go drink in the car.
Mm-hmm. Or she's going to do something worse and drive drunk.
Yes.
There,
So don't have her.
I just want to have her.
Disinvite her. Especially, if she came to the rehearsal and is talking about how she's going to drink anyway because rules are stupid.
Yeah.
It's no, you're stupid. You obviously have a problem.
Yep.
You need to get some help.
Yep.
but we're going to give you a consequence that might make you realize you need some help. It probably won't. No. She'll just think that the sister is
everyone's being mean to me.
Yeah. It's like, no.
No, you need to handle your scandal, bitch. That's what you need to do.
Handle your scandal. I like it.
Yeah, right? Anyway, your turn.
I don't have it pulled up on my phone, so give me another one. I'll read.
Oh my god.
I know. What do I know? I don't know how to work these things. They're also newfangled, and
This one's kind of long, but whatever. Go ahead.
That's okay. I can read.
Can you make me scroll a bit? Okay.
All right. Am I the asshole for telling my sick mom I will always prioritize my in-laws?
Well, we'll see.
I don't know. I'm already thinking you probably are. My mom has 8 kids. I'm the 4th. She was a crap mom. All right, well, I'm now turning already to your side. She always seemed to hate me in particular.
Oh.
I think y'all might need some therapy is what's happening.
Or the parent.
I think it's because I look exactly like my dad, not in the picture. Another thing that happened was when I was 16, our house burned down. And we had to move into a family friend's basement. My mom basically told me, get out and go find a place because it's too crowded here. Even though she never said it to my 2 sisters who still lived there with her, and one was over 18. Well, I'm sorry, but
your mom's a cunt.
Your mom's a cunt. The next year, my mom got another house, and I moved back in. Why? You were free. Why move back in? Mm-hmm. When I turned 18, she told me I had to pay rent. That's fair. My older siblings were supposed to as well, but she never enforced it with them.
I see already.
No. My second eldest sister is in her 30s now and still lives at home. She just sits on her phone all day. No. Same. I never realized how fucked up this was until I met my now wife and her parents. And while I know my mom tried her best as a single mom, no, she didn't. I hate that. I'm sorry, but no, she didn't. She didn't try her best.
She could have tried harder.
She never tried her best with me. That's why my therapist talking. That's my therapist. Oh, that's my therapist talking. Okay. I was like, what?
I know.
Now, my mom is trying to repair the relationship with me. She has skin cancer. She got it taken out, but the margins were positive or something. She's not dying tomorrow, but does need more surgery. She invites me for holidays and calls every few months to rant about my older siblings.
Oh.
She called me last week and asked me to come over this weekend. I said I need to ask my wife what days we're going to her parents' house. She said, why can't you set a date with me and go to the wife's parents' house on the opposite day? And I told her that I will always prioritize my wife's parents, and they and my wife always get to pick the day. She acted all sad and said, sorry, I don't mean it like that, but we both know I did. Now, my younger sister, who is her favorite, is asking me, how dare you? She called my mom crying. I said, Mom's an adult who can manage her own feelings, and I'm not responsible for them. That's absolutely true.
Yes.
She even tried to call and tattle to my wife. Little does she know that if it were up to my wife, we wouldn't talk to any of them. Good for you, wife.
Yeah, hell yeah.
My sister said that upsetting an older sick person can make them take a turn for the worse. Oh my God, the guilt. And if anything happens to Mom, it's on me, and I need to call and tell her I love her. No. My wife says, don't worry about it. Oh my God. Yeah. So I have so many things to say about that.
So many, yeah.
You know, because first of all, if you're a crap parent, you don't get to then later in life be like, okay, now that I need something from you, I'm going to try and make amends.
Well, and also being like, oh, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Like, that was a whole childhood. That was a whole life that you treated one of your children like shit.
Yes.
Like, that doesn't mean you get to be like, sorry, I'm better now. And because now you need someone to take care of you.
Right.
You know? And now that the kids that you did favor are shitheads to you.
Yeah, that's on you, man.
Bitch.
I'm sorry, but you made your bed, as they say. Now you gotta lie in it. And apparently it's her deathbed. But still, you know, it's you made shit choices, treated your children like shit. And now you're like, well, I need something now. Yeah. You know, it makes me think of several people, but one of the people it makes me think of is when I was married to the village idiot.
Yeah.
His birth parent gave birth to, 46 children.
Jesus.
I think it was really just 6, but whatever.
Still.
But raised none of them.
Right.
Like their grandparents or fathers or somebody else raised them. She had nothing to do with any of them.
Right.
Gave them all up or had them taken away. Well, I met her when we were married because she was in the hospital and she was sick.
Sure.
And all of her children around her bed. And I'll tell you what, when the nurse came in and was like, oh, who are all these people? She's like, oh, these are all my children. She was like, oh, how sweet that your kids are all here for you. And she goes, yeah, I'm a lucky mom. And it's like, yeah, you're lucky because someone else raised your children.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't say anything there. I wanted to. Let me tell you what. I want to say, listen, nurse. The bitch in this bed, she didn't raise nobody. She was too busy partying and drinking and being an asshole. And so, but now they're all supposed to circle around her and take care of her. And it's like, no. I'm sorry, but I don't have that kind of bond with you that I'm going to be there at your bedside taking care of you and being like, well, I'm going to forget all the shit that you did to me.
Yeah.
No.
I want you to know there's something that is like my life motto, and it kind of has been for quite some time. I read it somewhere, but it's become like something integrated into who I am. And it's, if people wanted you to write warmly about them, they should have behaved better.
Oh.
And I think that's ideal. Because
absolutely.
That's like, I mean, in growing up and having people being like, that's your mom, that's your dad, you should love, respect, whatever. And growing up with shit parents being like, no. Like, I'm not going to do that because they did everything they could do as a parent opposite of what they should have done.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? They tried to harm me, right?
Right.
I feel like, and they did. And so, like, it's not my job to make sure that they feel okay as older people.
Yeah.
No, that is not my fucking job. And I'm not going to, like, oh, well, you're sick now. Well, bitch, you should have thought about that. You know what I mean? Or you have other children that you treated better. Go find them.
Go to them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think this person is an asshole. I don't think you
Not
should.
at all.
No, you're...
Not even a little bit. I'm sorry, but you are absolutely right. And I'm with your wife on this one. It's like, if it was up to me, we would see none of the lot of them. Because they all treat you like crap.
Yeah.
Fuck them. I'm going to tell you something that came up the other day. So, my husband and I were talking about you, specifically, and your birth parents. Mm-hmm. And he said to me, he's like... And I've never heard him say anything this strong, but he was saying how he loathed your birth mother.
This man right here?
Yeah.
Your husband?
Loathed.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And I was like, I feel kind of equally about both of them because, she did what she did by abandoning you, but he was abusive, and he's the one who was like, your mom doesn't ever want to see you again, and blah, blah, blah. And he pulled his shit, which I will never believe was him because he's not smart enough to think of that. I think that was... you know who, his next wife. But he said, but the fact that she abandoned that sweet little angel baby.
Yeah, me. Yeah.
And then comes back and tries to buy her way back in, and that's all she ever does, is throws money at it. It's like, no. You caused irreparable harm.
Yeah.
And it's like, the physical stuff that your birth father did.
Yeah.
It still causes a lot of harm.
Yeah.
But the emotional shit is so much harder, I think,
to deal with.
To get over.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Because there are still times... It's stupid. There are times, like... here's an example. In the Goofy movie, with Goofy and he has a son...
Yeah.
And I think the second one, whatever. He's going to college. He's like, I'm an adult. You know what I mean? Like, leave me alone. And I'm an adult now, I'm not a kid, whatever. And Goofy says, like, I know, I was just hoping that you had room in your life for me, right? Things like that make me feel like, oh my God, maybe I should try. But then I think about shit, and I have tried, right?
Right.
I have tried. And like, because I'm so delicate about so many things and so sensitive and emotional, that, like, there are times where it makes me feel bad. And it's, one, because maybe she's my mom, but two... I think a lot of it just is because, like, somebody needs help or they present that they need help and I can't, and I refuse to do anything makes me feel like an asshole.
Sure.
And I know that I'm not. So I have to, like, often.
It's hard.
I have to tell myself, like, I have to, like, talk myself through it because the emotional and psychological shit that I was put through by that woman is so much, right? Like, abandoning me and then coming back and throwing money at me, but then blaming me for everything and saying, like, she doesn't like the person that I've become. My response to that was, well, maybe if you had raised me, maybe you would like me better as a person. But also, I take that as like an honor that you don't like me as an adult. You know what I mean? Because I'm nothing like you. Exactly. But
I'm going to say slightly off that is no one could ever control you. Because even as a child, as we've talked about many times, you were like, no.
No. Yeah. So, I mean, it is... Yeah, I mean, being abused physically is awful, right? But I just then hated my birth father forever. You know what I mean? And that has always been. I've never felt the same way I feel about my birth mom, where I need to, like, talk to him, where I need to make amends, where I need to, like, work this out. None of that, because I was like, you put your hands on a child over and over and over and over. Like, you don't deserve my respect, my sympathy. You don't deserve my, like, civility, full stop. Right. So I don't talk to him, see him, care about him. It is much harder when it is psychological, when it is emotional, when she pulls on the things that are, like, my weaknesses, which is being empathetic and being so sensitive.
Yeah.
So when she makes me feel bad, instantly I'm all fuck turmoil, right? But then I have to, like, therapize myself and be like, no. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
She's just working the system. She's just, essentially, she's trying to work you to get you back in her little clutch, you know? But I've stood my fucking ground, girl. I've said, no more, you know? She wanted to see me every time she's come to Oregon, but she always wants to see people that I refuse to fucking be around. Yeah. And she knows that. And she's like, well... And last time she came, she's like, well, I know you're stressed out, and I know you're at school, and I don't want to cause any more stress, so I'll just come another time when you can see me. And I said, okay. Like, I don't care.
I know the passive-aggressive shit doesn't work.
It doesn't work with me.
Guilt doesn't work.
No, I don't feel anything about it. So... My whole point is, if your parent treats you like shit, then your parent treats you like shit, and it's not your job to fix that. And if they, again, wanted you to think highly of them or think well of them, then they should behave appropriately.
Right.
And they don't, so fuck them.
Well, and even if, so let's say they had some, outstanding reason, something underlying that they couldn't deal with or couldn't control, okay. But you need to make amends then. Not just like, oh, sorry about, whatever. Sorry, I want to make it better now. Well, you need to start with a heartfelt, I know I was a garbage mom.
Yeah.
And I was totally fucked up. And I'm going to therapy. And I'm trying to figure out my problems. And I know that you probably won't be able to completely forgive me for all of that. But I hope that someday we can at least be friendly. Yeah. Whatever. Yeah. So you can't go in expecting... Okay, you need to forgive me, and we're going to make it all better. Nope.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's that whole antiquated ideal of, like, what a parent-child relationship is. Like, bitch, we don't live on a farm. You don't need me to go milk the cows every day, bitch. Like, this isn't some, like, subsistence living where you have a whole passel of children. Like, I don't need you for my survival.
Right.
And so you're going to come to me thinking that you're the authority to me, but you are literally not that ever. You know what I mean? You're not that to me. You're closer to a stranger to me than any sort of parental authority. Yeah. And you haven't, because you left when I was like 4. You know what I mean? You left when I was young. I wasn't raised by you, you know?
Yeah, when you were a precious angel baby.
And then I turned into a fallen angel baby.
Right. I'm just going to say, for anybody who did not know Annika as a precious angel baby, first of all, she was the second cutest baby ever born, because I was first.
God damn it. That is inaccurate.
But... Oh my God! Everybody who ever met you as a child just fell instantly in love with you. Those big green eyes.
They took up like half my face.
Yeah, Cindy Lou Who. You were just the sweetest. Yeah. So how anybody could hurt that sweet angel baby, I don't understand.
Yeah. Hey, I'm with you. I agree with you, because I'm perfect. No. But I was like, and I don't know. When I reflect back into it, I was soft and I was sensitive and I was sweet and I didn't break rules and I didn't, you know what I mean? And I did well in school and I followed rules and like.
Okay, you did well in school. You excelled in school.
Well, my point is like, they should have treated me better. You know what I mean? I worked hard to be a good kid. And they were like, this one is a good...
Let's break her.
Yeah, let's ruin this one. Okay, here's the next one.
All right.
Am I the asshole for telling my mom that my girlfriend's dog means more to me than her stepson?
Wait, so...
Is this guy the asshole?
My girlfriend's dog means more than my mother's stepson.
Which would be his stepbrother.
Okay.
Right? I, 20, male, had a rocky relationship with Andrew, 21, male, from the beginning. My mom married his dad 6 years ago, and they made me move out of my bedroom so he could have it.
Already, no.
To himself, because he said he doesn't want to share. I would kill him. They made me sleep on the couch instead of getting another bed.
What?
Are these my parents? He spent the next several years making fun of my hobbies and calling me feminine for my obsession with origami. 2 years ago, he slept with my then-girlfriend, Kate. Ooh! The day I found out was the final day I actually considered him a brother. After that, he was just my mom's stepson. Yesterday was his birthday. I haven't seen him for over a year, and I didn't attend the party. My mom asked me why I didn't drop by with a present. I told her, I just don't care about his birthday. She said, last month you went to your girlfriend's dog's birthday party and you bought him 2 toys. I said, well, yes, but I actually love my girlfriend's dog and I don't love Andrew. She asked if the dog actually means more to me than Andrew, and I said, absolutely. Your stepson means nothing to me. She then screamed about how I'm a disgrace and called me a disappointment, saying I shouldn't be so cruel to her. First of all, fuck your mom, fuck your stepdad, and fuck your fucking brother. Because that's bullshit.
All of it.
All of it. Every single bit of it's bullshit.
The fact that they made him move out of his room because the other boy didn't want to share.
And then he slept on a fucking couch.
Slept on a couch? Because you wouldn't buy him a bed. So was he on the couch in the living room, or did they just move a couch into another room?
Bitch, is this like Cinderella?
I don't.
Gonna make us sleep
sounds
in a
like
fireplace?
It. I'm sorry, but
yeah.
This kid gets preferential treatment just because I don't want to share. Well, I don't either.
This is my house and my bedroom first. You can kiss my ass. I don't care that you're a year older than me.
No, I wouldn't care at all. And and we've talked about this many times, just because someone's related to you, you don't have to love them.
No.
You don't even have to like them.
And I think it's unreasonable to ask that everyone you're related to you're going to like.
Absolutely.
I don't like most people I encounter. So what makes you think just because we're all placed into the same fucking biological family, I'm going to like any of you?
Yeah, we share a bloodline.
Yeah, that's it.
So, right.
If you shared my personality, maybe I would like you, but
maybe
you don't have one.
Well, it's like the fact of the matter is, this guy obviously has a good relationship with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And I know how I feel about my dogs, and I care more about my dogs than a lot of people.
I'm going to say I care about most animals more than any other person. I'm sorry, remember the day we went to Costco and there was a mama duck walking the baby ducks across the street and I was panicked because someone was going to hit him? But everyone stopped and made him cross, and then they just perseverated over that all day. Because I was like, where are the baby ducks and the mama duck? And why did they go that way? Like, yeah.
Right. Are they okay? Do I need to get out and
honestly
get them to the water?
Right. Should I just bring them? Should I just take them home? Right. But that's me. And so I get it. My dogs mean way more to me than most people.
But my question is, why should there be some sense of duty for him to buy a gift and go to this party of someone he doesn't even like, who clearly doesn't like him?
Right.
Because it said he made fun of him all his growing up years.
And slept with his girlfriend.
And so he not only doesn't like you, he doesn't respect you.
Well, and said, oh, you're a disgrace and you're a disappointment. I'm sorry, that fuck boy is a disgrace and a disappointment. You slept with your brother's girlfriend. I don't care if you're stepbrothers. That's disgusting. Well, also fuck your girlfriend, right? Like, that's...
Yeah, thankfully it's an ex-girlfriend. He figured that out.
Yeah. But no, I don't think so. Again, and fuck your mom. Like, what the... I don't get it. Why do parents do that shit? Like, well, this is my husband and his family, right? Or like, my wife
now
and
they
their
get
family.
Priority?
Right, over your child? That's weird. That's
I'm
weird.
Sorry, no. Mm-hmm. No.
Agreed. Oh. So you can just scroll and, it'll tell you a few.
All right. I love that, though. Mm-hmm. My girlfriend's dog means more than my stepbrother.
I know. Yeah, your stepson means nothing to me.
What? Am I the asshole for not renting a room to my cousin's son for free?
It's not renting, then.
No. Okay. Me again, the lady, 61 female, who rents a room to university students.
Oh, okay.
Well, so obviously she's making a little coin.
Yeah.
Probably to pay her bills, whatever.
Love that.
A little background. After my husband's death, I thought of moving into a smaller apartment because I was alone and my daughters, 38 and 35, have been living abroad for years. It was my cousin Tom, 48 male, who suggested that I could rent one of the bedrooms to students since I live in a city with 3 important universities. Sounds excellent.
Yeah.
I consulted an accountant and a lawyer to see if it was possible and to draft the lease. Then I did some renovations to the house to make it more functional for the new purpose. 100% paid by me.
Yeah.
And I started the business that I always managed alone. To thank Tom for the suggestion, I gifted him and his wife a 3-day vacation in a luxurious resort and spa. Very nice, because all he did is make the suggestion. He didn't pay for anything. He just said, hey, why don't you do this?
And then she said, nice. What a good idea.
Right. Fast forward to nowadays. Tom invited me to his house to discuss something important. I drove there and he said that his son, Alan, 19 male, will attend the university in my city and wanted me to host him. In our country, the university year starts in October. Actually, I don't want Alan in my house. It pains me to say it, but he's spoiled dirty and messy young man. He doesn't clean, doesn't do laundry, doesn't cook, doesn't lift a finger in his house. His room looks like a landfill, despite his mother cleaning it behind him like a maid. Ew. Who already is like, no, nothing about this.
No.
I never criticize their parenting because, you know the saying, not my circus, not my monkeys.
Hey, bitch.
I'm all about that one, too. But if they want to bring the circus to my house, well, that's different.
Yeah, then it is your motherfucking
Since
circus.
he's family, I said I'm willing to have Alan as a tenant and apply a discount to his rent as long as he's civil and respectful, keeps the room and bathroom tidy, and cleans up if he dirties something in the common area. After a few seconds of stunned silence, Tom got red in the face and yelled at me, "How dare you ask the family for money?" He expected me to host Alan free for the entire university cycle. 3 years at least, probably 5.
No.
What? Sarah cut in, yelling louder than Tom, saying I'm greedy and selfish, and I should willingly give them half of my earnings because the rental business was Tom's idea, so they're entitled to my money, or that I host their son free.
No.
She added that since we're family, she expects me to be like a mother to her child and cook and clean for him. What the actual fuck?
You're delusional.
At that point, I felt disrespected. Well, that's because you were.
Yeah.
We fought. I put my foot down, said no, drove away, and didn't answer their angry messages.
Good.
Eventually, I rented the room to 2 girls. Sounds like a much better deal.
Agreed.
Tom and Sarah wrote about what happened on their socials, and surprisingly to me, some family members sided with them, calling me stingy and accusing me of breaking the family over money.
Okay.
Because Tom and Sarah wrote that they will no longer attend parties hosted by me, and said that family members will do the same.
Okay.
My daughters are on my side, but maybe just because they're my daughters. Am I the asshole? Should I agree to host Alan for free?
No.
Because it was his father who gave me the idea for the rental. No.
No. Abort mission. No. First of all, what is with these families being cunts about everything? Like...
Well, and I'm sorry, because he gave her the idea, he should get half her money?
No, that's whack.
That'd be like me saying, hey, you're tall and gorgeous, why don't you be a model? And then when you get your thing, go, but I now need 50% of your earnings because I just said the words to you, be a model.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't do any of the work.
Girl,
I didn't pay for any of the stuff you need, but I should get half their money because I said be a model?
Mm-hmm. And if that were the case, then, girl, I would have to pay, like... Lots of people who've said that to me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you just say that if anyone gives you a suggestion, you just pay them then? If
right.
it works out? That's weird. That's weird. And they just thought they were going to get something for free. And they want their son to live in his, like, second cousin's house for 3 to 5 fucking years. Rent free.
And not clean up after himself.
No.
Not cook.
No.
Not supply food.
No.
No. I'm sorry, but he's going to be a drain on her finances.
Yeah.
Why on earth would you, 1, ask for it, and 2, expect it?
No.
I mean, asking, like, could he maybe get a month free to get started?
Sure.
That's not crazy.
No.
But even if she said no, it's like, okay, well, I understand this is part of your income.
Yes.
And obviously she did this to get more income so she could be support herself. So, but you want her to give up her income and then take care of a grown man.
No.
Who, because you were a shit parent and took care of him as like, no.
Absolutely not.
Nothing about that is reasonable.
No. Right? I agree with you. And I think it's selfish to ask, and it's ridiculous to ask. It's you then taking advantage of family.
Yeah.
And
absolutely,
I think that's
100%.
bullshit. And I know there's people like you should always help your family and whatever. If your family deserves it, if your family would also help you. I don't, again.
I'm sorry, but if they were in Hurricane Katrina and their house was destroyed, I would say, absolutely come stay with me.
Yeah.
And then until we get your house fixed and whatever.
Yes.
But not 3 to 5 years.
No, girl.
And and not just because your son's a deadbeat and doesn't want to pay rent, or you don't want to pay that part of his college, whatever.
Yeah.
No. I'm sorry.
And again, it just goes back to...
So you are absolutely not the asshole.
No, man. And, like, if you... Just because someone is your family doesn't mean, 1, they're going to respect you. And second of all, it doesn't mean that you have to like them or respect them.
No.
Or do what they say. Fuck
but
that
if
shit.
he lives like a pig at his own house...
Yeah.
And his bedroom, as she said, looks like a landfill.
Yeah.
And he doesn't ever cook, clean, tidy up after himself. I wouldn't want that in my house.
No. You've had foster boys. Almost bad enough.
Oh, right? So, no.
No. Girl.
So, I have my little judge gavel. I'm pounding it on the table.
And I said...
Not the asshole.
You are not the asshole.
No, you actually... I admire you for setting limits.
Boundaries, girl.
Yeah, boundaries. But that's just the thing. People hate it when you enforce boundaries. Mm-hmm. When you set a boundary and then enforce it. Because it's like setting a boundary, whatever, fine. Yeah. But it's the enforcing of it that pisses people off, especially when it in some way affects them negatively. It's like, what? Now I have to pay money for my son to go to college? Yes, bitch. Or he can. He can get a job. Mm-hmm. Or he can get student loans. He can do something.
Bitch, please. As somebody who has worked and gone to college, every time I've gone to college, bitch, you can do it. Calm down. This is my favorite. Do we have time for one more?
We don't really, but go ahead.
Okay. No, this one is this is a novel. We'll save that one. But
okay.
It's let me see if I find it. Anyway, you start wrapping up, and I'll tell you what I.
All right. So that was really quick, and we are already at the end, and that was fun. I will say that I do like giving unsolicited advice.
Agreed.
Yeah.
This one was, am I the asshole for asking my niece if she knows what she's talking about?
Oh, well, I definitely want to hear that, so we'll have to read that another time. All right. But we put out this podcast every Wednesday.
We do.
And so, like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell your
play it from a loudspeaker from your window. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just out your house, just us screaming at the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Stunning.
I like it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Loudspeakers on a truck as you're driving down the street. Love it.
Yeah.
You can find us at any of the major podcasting apps. You can also write us if you are so inclined at itwouldseemasthough@gmail.com, and we will answer your letter. We will read it on the air unless you say otherwise. And
if you don't want us to, please say don't read this up front.
But start with that.
Yeah.
Don't do it at the end.
Because we'll read it and then be like, oh.
Oops, we weren't supposed
Rachel
to read
didn't want me to tell all her personal business. Weird. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Yeah. You didn't mean to read your social security number on the air.
LOL.
Whoopsies.
LOL.
Anyway, so we'll be back next week, and God knows what we'll be talking about, but
we'll be here.
We'll be here.
All right, bye.
Bye.
It would seem as though